Have you ever wondered what secrets lie beneath the Euphrates River? 4 angels await their moment to emerge. Lucifer, Samyaza, Azazel, Beelzebub. Names you've heard, but their true story is far darker. Revelation speaks of their release at the 6th trumpet sound, leading an army of 200 million horsemen. But why now? What drives these beings? And how will their freedom impact humanity? As we uncover the terrifying truth, you'll see why this ancient prophecy matters more than ever. Brace yourself for a revelation that may shake you to your core. Heaven was perfect, a realm of unimaginable beauty and harmony. At its center stood Lucifer, God's most magnificent creation. He shone brighter than any other angel, his wings gleaming with surreal light. But beneath that radiant exterior, something dark was taking root. Pride. It started small, a tiny seed in Lucifer's heart. Look how beautiful I am, he thought. How wise and powerful. These thoughts grew, feeding on themselves. Lucifer began to see his own glory as equal to God's.
Why should he rule over me?
The question poisoned Lucifer's love for his creator. He saw God's authority as a chain holding him back.
I could do better.
He whispered.
I should be the one on that throne.
Lucifer's obsession grew. He started whispering to other angels, planting seeds of doubt.
Don't you think we deserve more?
He'd ask.
Why should we bow to anyone?
Some angels recoiled from these dangerous ideas. Others listened, drawn in by Lucifer's charisma and the promise of power. The peace of heaven began to crack, hairline fractures spreading through paradise. Lucifer's ambition reached its breaking point. He gathered his followers and declared open rebellion against God.
No more will we serve.
He cried.
Today we claim what's rightfully ours.
Heaven erupted into chaos. Angels who had lived in harmony for ages now faced each other as enemies. The air crackled with celestial energy as battles broke out across the eternal realm. Lucifer led his army, convinced of victory. How could God stand against so many of his mightiest angels? But God's power proved absolute. With a word, he could have erased the rebels from existence. Instead, he chose a different punishment. Lucifer and his followers were cast out, hurled from the heights of heaven. They fell like dying stars, their light fading as they plummeted towards earth. The fallen angels crashed into our world, their beautiful forms twisted into something dark and terrible. Lucifer, once the brightest of all, now burned with hatred and resentment. He looked at the paradise of Eden, at the humans God had created, and a new plan formed in his bitter heart.
If I can't rule heaven,
he snarled,
I'll corrupt his precious creation. I'll prove that humans are flawed, that God's love for them is misplaced.
And so began a new war, one fought in whispers and temptations, with the souls of humanity as the prize. Even as Lucifer schemed, he knew this wasn't the end. A final judgment awaited him and his fallen brethren. What terrors would they face on earth? What role would they play in the cosmic drama yet to unfold? The fallen angels' rebellion had set in motion events that would shape the fate of both heaven and earth for eternity. The dust had barely settled from the great angelic war when earth became the new battleground, with humanity as the pawns. Samyaza, a fallen angel, saw an opportunity for revenge against God and a chance to shape human history. Leading 200 fallen angels, Samyaza descended to earth, intent on interfering with God's creation. He gathered eager listeners, revealing secrets of magic and divination that blurred the line between mortal and divine. But this forbidden knowledge spread like wildfire, consuming everything in its path. Azazel, another fallen angel, taught humans to forge weapons and craft cosmetics. Suddenly, humanity wasn't just armed, it was vain. The focus shifted from inner beauty to outward appearances, from spiritual growth to superficial charm. The changes in human society were rapid and profound. Villages grew into cities, and cities into empires, all built on the foundation of this forbidden knowledge. Conflict erupted as humans wielded their new skills for both good and evil. God watched in sorrow as his creation spiraled into violence and vanity. The pure world he had crafted was being tainted, corrupted by the very beings he had once called his own. Yet, he didn't intervene. This was part of a larger plan, a cosmic drama playing out on the stage of human history. The Book of Enoch describes the gravity of their actions, and Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and became corrupt in all their ways. But the fallen angels' plan had unforeseen consequences. In their quest for revenge and power, they had created a world where their own existence was threatened. The very weapons Azazel taught humans to create could one day be turned against them. The knowledge of magic and divination gave humans tools to potentially challenge angelic power, both fallen and divine. As chaos unfolded, Lucifer watched and plotted. He saw the opportunity to make his move, ready to take center stage in this cosmic drama. The corruption of humanity was complete, but at what cost? The consequences of their actions were about to catch up with the fallen angels in ways they never expected. And humanity? They stood on the edge of a battle that had begun in heaven and was now spilling over onto earth, armed with knowledge, weapons, and a newfound vanity. The stage was set for a conflict that would shake the foundations of creation itself. The fallen angels had sown chaos on earth, but their victory dance was premature. As the dust settled on their grand plan, a new threat loomed, one that would make them question everything. What if their quest for revenge had unleashed forces even they couldn't control? Cast out of heaven, the fallen angels found themselves in a strange new world. Their ambition transformed them into something far more terrifying than mere outcasts. Enter Beelzebub, soon to be known as the Prince of Demons. His rise to power showcased manipulation and cunning at its finest. Beelzebub saw an opportunity as the fallen angels fought for position. He whispered in Lucifer's ear, his words a slow poison seeping into the minds of the other fallen. Lies spread like a disease, turning angel against angel. His tactics were ruthless but effective. Lucifer, recognizing Beelzebub's value, granted him his new title. This wasn't just a fancy nickname. In the New Testament, we see the Pharisees accusing Jesus of casting out demons by the power of Beelzebub, the prince of demons. This reveals Beelzebub's crucial role in the demonic hierarchy. Hell now had structure, a twisted mirror of heaven's angelic ranks. Beelzebub, as a prince, wielded authority among the fallen. His influence reached earth, where he spread lies and temptation. His mission, to lead people away from God, corrupting truth until it became unrecognizable. The fallen angels built their dark kingdom, a mockery of God's heaven. Humans fell under their sway in increasing numbers. The knowledge of good and evil spread like wildfire. Cities grew into empires, fueled by ambition and pride. But something ominous loomed on the horizon. The Book of Revelation speaks of trumpets heralding a day when everything will change. The sixth trumpet brings Beelzebub and his fellow fallen angels into play. The Euphrates River, a place of immense significance, is where key events leading to Armageddon will unfold. Its drying prepares the way for the kings from the east to gather for the final battle. Why does this matter to Beelzebub and the other fallen angels? Because their release is destined. They're bound, waiting for the moment to be unleashed upon the world. When that happens, they'll lead an army of 200 million horsemen. This release, this moment of apparent triumph, is also the beginning of their end. The fallen angels, in their pride, think they're orchestrating events, but they're playing right into God's plan. Remember, Beelzebub's name evolved from Lord of Flies to Lord of Dung. It's a reminder of how far they've fallen, of how their rebellion has twisted them into something unrecognizable. Their power has limits. As the trumpets of Revelation sound, as the Euphrates dries up and the final battle approaches, one question hangs over everything. What judgment awaits them in the end? The sixth trumpet's blast shatters the cosmos like a cosmic alarm, rippling through heaven and earth. Everything changes in an instant. The voice from the golden altar before God commands, "Release the 4 angels who are bound at the great River Euphrates." This ancient river, once a boundary between worlds and a source of divine judgment, now becomes the stage for something far greater. These 4 angels aren't gentle guardians or heavenly messengers. They're beings of terrifying power, waiting for this exact moment in time. Their purpose: to kill 1/3 of mankind. Billions of lives will vanish in the blink of an eye. The scale of destruction is beyond comprehension. Why now? God's perfect timing has led to this point. Every moment in history, every bit of chaos and corruption has built up to this turning point. The release of these 4 angels marks the beginning of the final battle. Armageddon isn't a distant concept anymore. It's becoming real, approaching fast. The army of 200 million horsemen, led by fallen angels like Beelzebub, is larger than any force in human history. As the Euphrates dries up, it creates a path for this massive army, drawing the kings of the east to this ancient river. You'd think that with all this devastation, people would turn back to God, but they don't. Despite watching 1/3 of the world's population die, the survivors refuse to repent. The fallen angels' work has taken root so deeply that even cosmic destruction can't shake it loose. We're watching a universal chess game unfold. God's plan is playing out, step by step. The fallen angels believe they're winning, but each move sets the stage for their own downfall. The 6th trumpet isn't just a warning. It's an unveiling of the spiritual reality that's always been there, just out of sight. The battle lines are being drawn, not just on earth, but in the heavens. This isn't just another disaster. It's a cosmic turning point. The chaos we've seen, the corruption spread by the fallen angels, it was all building to this moment. The hardening of hearts we witness isn't mere stubbornness. It's a sign of how deep the corruption has gone. As we stand on the brink of this ultimate showdown between good and evil, we're left to wonder, what comes next? How will this cosmic conflict escalate? And most importantly, where do we stand in this unfolding drama of divine proportions? The 6th trumpet has sounded, and the universe holds its breath, waiting for the next move in this celestial chess game. But before we proceed, have you subscribed to the channel already? If not, do it right now, because we publish amazing Bible content weekly, which will enhance your knowledge about the Bible and the events mentioned. What are you waiting for? Hit on that subscribe button right now. As the veil lifts on this cosmic conflict, a force beyond human comprehension emerges. 200 million supernatural soldiers march across the earth, their numbers so vast they defy imagination. These aren't ordinary troops. They're an earth-shaking tide of doom, led by fallen angels who once stood in God's presence. Now, they command an army that could crush humanity with ease. The earth trembles beneath their feet, and the sky darkens with their presence. Remember those 4 angels bound at the Euphrates River? They've been unleashed, leading this massive force. It's as if all the wars throughout history have come together in one terrifying moment. The Bible paints a vivid picture of these otherworldly warriors. Their horses are monstrous creatures with heads like lions, wearing breastplates of fiery red, dark blue, and yellow as sulfur. From their mouths pour fire, smoke, and sulfur. The air thickens with choking smoke. The ground burns with hellfire. The stench of sulfur sears your nose. Their devastation is unimaginable. 1/3 of mankind falls to these plagues. Billions of lives vanish in an instant. Cities crumble. Nations collapse. Our world changes forever. But here's the shocking truth. Many humans still refuse to repent. Despite witnessing power that can only be supernatural, their hearts remain hardened. Why? Because the fallen angels' corruption runs deep, like poison in humanity's roots. For millennia, these beings have whispered lies, taught forbidden knowledge, and twisted God's creation. Now, we see their handiwork. A world so lost, it can't recognize judgment, even when it's staring them in the face. This army of 200 million is their masterpiece, a force that could potentially challenge heaven itself. But as they march towards Armageddon, what fate awaits them? This isn't just about destruction, it's about choice. Even facing undeniable power, humans have free will. Many don't use it. Why? Because the lies they've been fed have become their truth. Think about it. These fallen angels have influenced us since Eden. They've shaped our cultures, beliefs, and understanding of the world. Is it surprising that many can't see the truth, even when divine judgment strikes? But there's hope. While this army marches and the world trembles, God's plan unfolds. This judgment, terrible as it is a wake-up call. It's a last chance for humanity to see the truth before the final battle. And what a battle it will be. On one side, 200 million led by fallen angels. On the other, heaven's forces. The stakes couldn't be higher. The fate of every soul hangs in the balance. The question is, which side will you choose? The corruption of power surrounds us in wars, hardened hearts, and defiance against God, despite unthinkable devastation. Even with 1/3 of humanity wiped out, people cling to their wickedness. But God's mercy is endless. He's calling out to us, giving us a choice as the world teeters on the brink. When that final trumpet sounds, where will you stand? With darkness or with the God who never stopped loving you? The 6th trumpet has sounded. Your choices matter now more than ever. Will you turn back to God or continue down the path of destruction? The clock is ticking. What will you do with the time you have left? Now, if you thought this army of fallen angels was mind-blowing, wait until you hear what happened when Michael confronted these supernatural beings. The story gets even more incredible. Remember those fallen angels we just talked about? Well, there's a hidden part of the Bible that reveals an amazing showdown where Michael faced them and their children, the Nephilim. You won't believe what Michael did when he came face to face with these powerful beings. It's like nothing you've ever heard before. A battle that shaped our world in ways we're still discovering today. Want to know what weapons he used? What special powers he had? And most importantly, who won this epic fight? You'll discover the shocking truth about how Michael dealt with these fallen angels and their giant children. This isn't just any battle. It's a story that was hidden for thousands of years. Click the video on your screen right now to find out what really happened when Michael took on these powerful beings. Trust me, you don't want to miss this incredible story. The truth will blow your mind.